What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we've got another live fantasy football mock draft for you back on FantasyPros with a 12-team full PPR mock where we will be selecting 12th overall. The final pick should be really interesting. Our roster: 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and then 5 bench spots. But that's pretty much it. So let's kick it off. And while we wait for it to load, a quick reminder: if you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. Let us hear in the comment section your thoughts along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. But with that being said, let's get into it. Before getting into our breakdown, I want to highlight the sponsor of today's video, OddsJam. OddsJam continues to be the place that I use for all of my sports betting research, from the NFL, NBA, MLB, to daily fantasy and everything in between. But don't just take my word for it. Let me show you firsthand all the amazing tools OddsJam has to offer. Starting with their positive EV tool, which identifies situations where a single sportsbook has mispriced their line compared to the rest of the market. They're basically willing to pay a lot more so that you bet with them compared to the other sportsbook. At the end of the day, you're getting the best odds, essentially a mathematical edge and guaranteed money in the long run. But also available is OddsJam's arbitrage tool, which shows situations where the market is so mispriced that you can bet on both sides and guarantee a risk-free return. OddsJam's calculators show you exactly how much you have to bet on the over and under and what the respective guaranteed risk-free return would be. There's also OddsJam's Sportsbook tool, which consolidates all available market info, over 200 sportsbooks, and provides updates in real time and allows you to see line movement. But my personal favorite is their Fantasy Optimizer tool, which is great for those using PrizePicks, Underdogs, or other daily fantasy sites, as you get to see discrepancies between all of these sportsbooks. Imagine PrizePicks has a Patrick Mahomes line at 200.5 passing yards, and all other books like FanDuel and Underdog have this line at 230 passing yards. Well, getting the over 200.5 on PrizePicks would be an absolute steal. Guess what? OddsJam does that for you. And the good news is, if you sign up today and use our code PIGSKIN, check the link and promo code in the description of this video, you will get 25% off your first month. OddsJam also has a 7-day free trial, so you get to try before you buy. So don't waste any more time and sign up for OddsJam using our code PIGSKIN today. Now, we are on the clock, 12th overall. Let's take a look at the draft board here and see if there's been any craziness to kick off this draft. First overall, we've seen Justin Jefferson a bunch of times. That's the trend here again. Then Christian McCaffrey, then Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, and Austin Eckler falls to the 105. I continue to say he remains one of the best values in the first round, somebody worthy of the first overall pick. Tyreek Hill at the 106, followed by Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, 108, Nick Chubb at the 109. He's somebody that's been trending upwards. Devontae Adams at the 110, and Amon-Ra St. Brown at the 111. So we're here at the turn. We've got some really, really good choices. And I'm not going to lie to you, somebody like a CeeDee Lamb is kind of tempting. But so is starting off this draft with Saquon Barkley and Bijan Robinson. I think both these guys are first-round talents, but just because of what the trend has become this year, namely having people go crazy on the pass catchers, it's been a situation where really elite talents fall later into the draft, especially at the running back position, especially in the first 2 rounds. So here, my immediate gut reaction is Saquon and Bijan Robinson. If I wanted to be a little bit more balanced, I would go CeeDee Lamb and Saquon or Bijan, but I'm just really too tempted by the possibility of getting Saquon and Bijan Robinson. I think both these guys are top 5 running back talents. So I'm not really going to waste too much time. I'm going to have my running back position locked down, and then we're going to go and see what we have available to us in the end of the 3rd round when it comes to wide receiver, pass catcher talent. And we'll see if we regret our selections of back-to-back running backs. But here, next, just kind of breaking it down for you, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, makes sense. They're one of the next highest-ranked wide receivers. Tony Pollard, Patrick Mahomes. Again, I don't like that selection of Patrick Mahomes that early. You can get Jalen Hurts a full round later. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Derrick Henry, Jalen Waddle, Mark Andrews, Josh Jacobs, Keenan Allen. Ooh, surprising. I would have honestly expected Keenan Allen to potentially have dropped to us, but not the case. Now you see Joe Mixon kicking off the third, Josh Allen, T. Higgins. Jonathan Taylor drops all the way to the fourth pick in the third round. Obviously, people worried about, the possibilities with a with a trade or contract situations. I continue to say I believe he plays the majority of the season, more than likely with the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be too tough to get the value they're looking for. Jalen Hurts, Najee Harris, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, and a little bit of a run at the running back position. Miles Sanders, Ramondre Stevenson, Aaron Jones. So nothing too crazy, honestly, in this mock draft. And we've got the running back position locked down. I know some people might be tempted by Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not the biggest Jahmyr Gibbs believer here. I'm going strictly wide receiver, and the two guys that I have ranked the highest would be Calvin Ridley. So we add Calvin Ridley to the squad. And then I'm between Amari Cooper and DJ Moore. I'm going to lean Amari Cooper here. To me, he is, on the better passing offense with the better passing quarterback. So he gets the edge here, even though I also think that DJ Moore is going to be a fine fantasy asset this season. So now, once we wait another 2 rounds, let's see what the landscape looks like at this point in time. Pulling up the draft board, we see after our Amari Cooper pick, Drake London, Travis Etienne, DJ Moore, Jahmyr Gibbs, so both the guys we mentioned, Joe Burrow, Chris Godwin, Debo, Terry, Justin Herbert, DeAndre Hopkins, Lamar Jackson. So a little bit of a run at the quarterback position, right? Tyler Lockett, Breece Hall, Alexander Mattison, TJ Hawkinson, and then also in the 5th round, a run on the tight end position. Kenneth Walker, Darren Waller, Damian Pierce, George Kittle, then Brendan Ayuk, Mike Williams, and Rachaad White. I was hoping that one of the tight ends could drop to us. Doesn't necessarily happen. So here, if I'm looking at it, I've got Justin Fields, I've got Trevor Lawrence. We could potentially go with a James Conner. I like the value there. Tight end at this point in time, you could argue we can wait on the tight end position. Again, just to remind you of our roster, Saquon Barkley, Bijan, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper. Right now, I'm looking at it, James Conner, Marquise Brown, Michael Pittman, they're kind of in consideration for these next couple of picks for me. I'd like to get some, I love the 2 running backs that we have, don't get me wrong, but getting more depth at that position is always a good thing. So I'm probably going to go with James Conner here as one of our selections. Let's get that taken care of. And then here we got to make the decision. I mean, if we wait on the quarterback, we're not going to be able to land one of these top 2 guys in Fields or Trevor Lawrence in the next round. So let's see how this pans out if we select one of these 2 guys. Justin Fields, rushing upside, Trevor Lawrence, you've got the stack with Calvin Ridley. So really just depends what you are into here. I'm going to go with the stack of Trevor Lawrence with Calvin Ridley, and we will then see how this thing plays out. I said it before, I know we're going to miss out on the tight ends. I'm perfectly fine with that, and, we're going to be able to find somebody else that I think is still a decent fit. So, yeah, immediately after we went Lawrence, we see Justin Fields. Makes sense. Kyle Pitts, Goddard, the tight ends, exactly as we predicted. Watson, Alvin Kamara, Antonio Gibson, Jerry Jeudy, Cam Akers, Marquise Brown. I was hoping he could fall to us. Obviously, that was wishful thinking. Mike Evans, James Cook, Christian Kirk, J.K. Dobbins, Montgomery, Deshaun, Deontay Johnson, Daniel Jones, Michael Pittman. Would have been great if he fell to us. Dalvin Cook, Aaron Rodgers, DeAndre Swift, and Jerick McKinnon. Looking at this cheat sheet of ours again, I think Jahan Dotson here is a good value. I really like Jordan Addison. I think both those guys would be very good picks for us. We need some more depth at the wide receiver position. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're kind of punting on the tight end position in this draft. But I'm okay with it. I think we'll still be able to find what we're looking for at tight end in the later rounds, and then just, kind of get two of those guys to kind of back up the situation if something goes awry, right? So here, looking at these possibilities at tight end, I'm looking at the cheat sheet again. The top guys that I would have are probably, Gerald Everett, Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta. At running back, nothing too crazy. I think we've done a good job with our 3 picks of Barkley, Bijan, James Conner. So honestly, I'm kind of incentivized to continue hitting up wide receivers here. And then our last 2 picks, we're going to go tight end because I don't imagine there's going to be a huge tight end run here, considering that position has been taken care of. And with that being said, let's go with the guys that I was looking at, and that is Michael Thomas, one of them, just going upside. And then I will get Elijah Moore. If something happens to Amari Cooper, he's generally somebody that I'm high on as well, Elijah Moore. So there we go. And then we're going to make 2 final selections here. They're going to be at the tight end position. And this thing is going to have concluded. And I think we've done a pretty good job. I'm not going to lie to you. Tight end, yeah, exactly. We have the top guys that we were considering before. So Gerald Everett is still there. Laporta is still there. And, I'm gonna pass on Tyler Higbee. He's just been a little bit too inconsistent for my taste. So let's go with, we're going to go with Gerald Everett. And we're going to go with somebody like a Sam Laporta, who I have been talking up as of late. So Gerald Everett, there you go. Fantasy Pros, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to like our tight end grade, but it's okay. I really like the other parts of our roster. So let's see the final grade here and see if it's accurate or not. We get a C minus. I don't think that should be the case. I think this should be a B at least, especially with what we did at the running back position. I like how we bounced back at wide receiver as well. Again, tight end is really the only question mark, but I think we've ensured ourselves okay. But hey, let me know your thoughts, agree, disagree, along with any other questions you guys might have. We'll do our best to answer them all. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, give us a follow on Twitter at AllDayPigskin to continue interacting with us there. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys in future videos.